Recapping Coastal Carolina's 6-7 season that came to a conclusion earlier this week when they lost in the Myrtle Beach Bowl to Texas San Antonio UTSA. Yeah, they did finish 6-7 for the year, but they also qualified for a bowl game, and that does mean something that they had to get there throughout the season. So I'm going to spend a couple minutes going through the season itself and just talking about my personal takeaways from the season as a whole. And it's real easy to focus on what most people would call the negatives or the areas of opportunity for improvement, whatever vocabulary word you want to choose. And we will do some of that, yes. I do want to start on what I did like throughout the season. I really liked the opener against Jacksonville State, especially the more Jacksonville State started winning at the end. They came out, they were focused, they were ready, and that thing was a whooping, especially on the road in LA, Lower Alabama, where it's really hot and muggy. So I was impressed with that. An initial win in Rocky Land in the city of brotherly love was a good way to start off. And then obviously the Appalachian State victory, you can never go wrong with that one as well. So there was some positive wins, and they had some three other wins as well to qualify for the bowl game as a highlight. Let's talk about where they ended up ranking and such. And this is where people will be starting to throw some criticism at the 2024 team. So first off, they led the Sun Belt in sacks allowed. They only allowed 15 sacks the entire season. That was first place. So out of the major stat categories to which I tracked, this was the only one that they finished first place in. Excellent job, quarterback getting rid of the ball. Excellent job, offensive line for protecting the quarterback. So sacks allowed, they only allowed 15 sacks the entire season, which ranked first in the Sun Belt. Scoring offense, they averaged just over 28 points a game, 28.7. That ranked sixth. Total offense, they averaged 373 yards a game. That ranked 10th out of 14th. Passing, they threw the ball for just over 201 yards a game. That ranked 10th in passing. Rushing, 172.5. That only got them to sixth. And so you're looking at the offense and you're basically a top 10 offense in the Sun Belt out of 14 schools, but you could more efficient than not with what offense produced in scoring. So there's some positives there, but definitely areas where people are just like the offense wasn't doing what we would hoped this year. Had 17 turnovers that ranked them seventh, right in the middle of the pack. On the defensive side, the scoring defense allowed 31.6 points a game, which ranked them 10th. Okay. Their total defense, they allowed 413 yards a game, which ranked them 10th. Passing defense, they ranked 10th. Rushing defense, they ranked ninth. Total sacks forced. They forced 29 sacks. That ranked them fourth in the Sun Belt. And then they took away the ball 22 times. That ranked them second. Only one defense had more takeaways than Coastal's defense. So they were taking the ball away a lot this year. And that's a major focus and major positive as well that should be highlighted and recognized. So there's those takeaways. So when you look at all that kind of stuff, you're like, well, they probably were an average team. Well, considering that they finished 6-6 on the season, there you go. All right, other takeaways. And this is just, I've asked about 15 people the same question of where the responsibility ultimately falls, because it's easy for Coach Beck to fall on the sword, but is it ultimately his full responsibility? The transfer portal has been a beast to a lot of G5 programs, and Coastal is definitely one of them. Last year, about 26 people entered the portal. Now, subjectively speaking, how did they enter the portal? Was it coach sliding paper across the board, across the table to the kids saying, "We're taking away your scholarship. Thank you for coming here, but we're going to try to move on without you"? and you can enter the portal, we recommend you enter the portal because that stuff happens. Whether you like it or not, that happens. Was it mom or agent saying you can do better elsewhere? Was it kid saying I want more playing time? So, however you got into the portal, you're in the portal. And then there's also the other factor that a lot of people forget about because of these stupid NCAA rules. If you've used up your eligibility at one school, but you're on your way to get a master's degree and you still have playing time eligibility or COVID eligibility or all these other now JUCO eligibilities and these stupid rules they keep throwing in, then that could be a factor as well. That equaled 26 last year. This year, they're already at 31 in the portal for all those same reasons. So, where does the accountability and ownership fall on? That cannot be 100% back. It has to be some, but it cannot be 100% back. That's just ridiculous to expect the coaches to do everything else plus that on top of that. So is it the admin? Is it the players? And there hasn't been a consistent answer to my question yet. So I'm still trying to figure out who ultimately should be most responsible. I guess it's going to have to be the coach, even though I don't fully agree with that answer of keeping kids that you want to keep not from entering the portal. And that's a factor. Lev Lubin and Matthew McDoom each earned all first team honors in the Sun Belt, which leads exactly to what I was just talking about the transfer portal and the negativities that it is, because both of them have now entered the portal and are trying to, for lack of better words, and I don't mean this derogatorily, upgrade and see what bigger fish they can become in a bigger pond. So congratulations to them because they both earned it, especially Clev. He was just a dominant force in that edge D line area all season. I really am happy for him. Matthew McDoom, we knew this day would come, that he would finally get the honors as one of the higher recruits in Coastal history as well. Other honorable mentions, uh, Braden Bennett. I mean, if that's not, however long of a career he's had there, just a recognition for that. I don't know what is. Nick Del Grande, offensive lineman. We already mentioned it once about just the protection and sacks allowed. He was a big reason why. Shane Bruce, one of the captains on the defensive end, definitely earned some honorable mention honors as well. And Juan Powell, a defensive back as well. So those four also received some next level, next tier honors to help support them throughout their time here at Coastal. So that's the 2024 season. It could be viewed as mostly disappointing, but they continued their streak alive of qualifying for a bowl game, and that's a major plus. So that's the focus for one. Now it's a question of what recruits are coming in, both on the transfer portal and from this signing day and then the next signing day. And just the ridiculousness that this is. Okay, we have multiple signing days, you have multiple portal windows, and I believe it's not till August 15th of 2025 that the government's going to finally get involved in this stuff. So we got another full year of this crap to deal with before it's going to hopefully start settling down in years to come. I think 2025 is the last year of the COVID window that's finally closing. But don't worry, a new window is open called the JUCO not counting against you portal. So yeah, you can tell my bitterness and negative towards those situations. And that's just in general, not just specifically how it affects Coastal Carolina. I just am not a believer of all those different factors. You should not be 26, 27 years old and still being playing college football when you started there when you were 18, 19 years old. That's what it's become. It's become semi-pro. It's not the game I grew up on, and that's where my mindset is. Um, and I feel bad for all the coaches out there that are having to deal with this. And this is probably why you're seeing a lot of the older coaches jump. And can you blame them? A lot of them are taking step downs and just becoming offensive coordinators. and just doing what they do best and enjoying what they just enjoy best is calling plays, scripting out plays, and just working with the team itself. And some of them are just retiring off and saying, forget this. And you can't blame them. And until it changes, it's only going to get worse, I believe. And so now that's unfortunately on Coach Beck's shoulders to figure a way to maneuver through this new world of college athletics and college football. So there's my take on the 2024 season. It's going to be a whole new roster next year. If you saw his year-end uh, press conference leading into the Myrtle Beach Bowl, some of the best 20 minutes you'll ever see, most of the honest, straightforward 20 minutes you'll ever see of Coach Beck's takeaway of all this, because it's now you're not building program, as he said, you're building team, and he'll be doing that next year. Brand new backfield, brand new quarterback, brand new receivers, some new O linemen, some new D linemen, basically starting from scratch once again. Hopefully, it's a lot of new faces, got some experience at the bowl game itself, and we'll see you come spring and then into 2025. Sean's up.